Hello friends, welcome again. Current affairs is very important for your upcoming government jobs. SN Academy will provide you the best material for national and international news. So keep watching and study hard. 17th November 2020. The first news is the Chief of Janata Dal Nitish Kumar has taken an oath as the Chief Minister of Bihar and he will begin his 7th term on 16th November 2020. Bihar Governor Fagu Chauhan administered the oath of office and secrecy to Mr. Kumar at Raj Bhavan in Patna. BJP Legislature Party Leader Tar Kishore Prasad and Deputy Leader Renu Devi have been made the new Deputy Chief Minister. 14 other ministers were also sworn in along with Mr. Kumar. Out of them, 7 are from BJP, 5 from JD and 1 each from Vikasshil Insan Party and Hindustani Award Morcha. Next. The Union Government has extended the tenure of Enforcement Directorate Director Sanjay Kumar Mishra by a year after modifying his appointment order that was issued in 2018. His tenure was to end next week as the ED Director's post comes with a fixed term of 2 years. As per an order issued by the Department of Revenue under the Union Finance Ministry on Friday, the 2018 order for appointment of Mishra has been modified. The President of India is pleased to approve the modification in the earlier order dated November 19, 2018, appointing Shri Sanjay Kumar Mishra as Director of Enforcement in the Enforcement Directorate. Next. The Reserve Bank of India has imposed a penalty of Rs 1 crore on Punjab National Bank for violating the Payment and Settlement System Act 2007. Punjab National Bank was operating a bilateral ATM sharing arrangement with Druk PNB Bank Limited, Bhutan since April 2010 without prior approval of authorization from India's banking regulator. RBI imposed the Rs 1 crore penalty for contravention of nature referred to it Section 26/6 of the Payment and Settlement System Act 2007. Important keys: Punjab National Bank headquarters, it is in New Delhi. Punjab National Bank MD and CEO is S.S. Mallikarjuna Rao and it's founded on 19th May 1894 in Lahore, Pakistan. Next. SBM Bank India, the wholly owned subsidiary of State Bank of Mauritius, has partnered with FinTech Pay Nearby to launch the new banking platform. Both firms signed a memorandum of understanding to build an open banking network towards delivering basic banking solution as well as advanced financial services to their customers. The partnership would enable the bank to offer a complete suite of digital and assisted banking solution through Pay Nearby's network of micro enterprise and retail touchpoints. Important keys: SBM Bank Limited headquarters, it is in Mumbai, Maharashtra. MD and CEO is Siddharth Rath and its operation started on 1st December 2018. Tagline of SBM Bank is "We make banking convenient for you." Next. HDFC Bank and IndusInd Bank have been put in the red flag list, a system used for monitoring foreign portfolio investor limits. A listed company enters the list when the available legroom for overseas investment is less than 3% of the permissible limit. FPIs can invest up to 74% in both HDFC Bank and IndusInd Bank. The current FPI shareholding in case of HDFC Bank is 71.3%, while that of IndusInd Bank is 73.1%. Besides these two, Novartis India and Procter & Gamble Hygiene and Healthcare are the only other companies in the red flag list. Next. Dr. Sushant Kar, Senior Scientist, Molecular Parasitology and Immunology, Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, Central Drug Research Institute, was honored with Professor A. N. Bhandari Memorial Lecture Award 2020 by Society of Biological Chemists, Bangalore. The award is given to him for his contribution towards defining the survival tactics of Leishmania donovani. Leishmania donovani is a protozoan parasite that infects the macrophages and the causative agent of visceral leishmanias, that is Kala Azar. Next, SpaceX has launched 4 astronauts, 3 Americans, 1 Japanese, to the International Space Station on the first full-fledged taxi flight for NASA by a private company. They were launched by Falcon rocket from the Kennedy Space Center. The capsule has been named as Resilience. The crew was led by Commander Mike Hopkins, Shannon Walker, Victor Globe for the space mission, and Japan's Soichi Noguchi for the same space aircraft. Physicist Masatoshi Koshiba, who shared 2002 Nobel Prize for the detection of cosmic neutrons, passed away. Koshiba's most famous work involved detecting neutrons from a distant supernova explosion using a vast detector based in a mine in central Japan. Koshiba, a distinguished professor at the University of Tokyo, Koshiba devised the construction of giant underground chambers to detect neutrons, elusive particles that stream from the sun. Former Lieutenant Governor of Pondicherry, Chandravati, passed away. She has a number of first to her credit as she was the first Member of Parliament 1977, the first MLA, First Minister 1964 to 66 and 1972 to 74, and the first Leader of Opposition in the Haryana Assembly for 1982 to 85. Chandravati had also served as the President of the Janata Party from 1977 to 1979. Next. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has unveiled a statue of Swami Vivekananda in Jawaharlal Nehru University campus, New Delhi, through video conferencing. It took renowned sculptor Naresh Kumarwat 7 months to complete this statue of Swami Vivekananda on the JNU campus. Located about 300 meters from a statue of India's first Prime Minister, the statue of Swami Vivekananda is about 3 feet taller than that of Jawaharlal Nehru. The event was also attended by Union Minister for Education Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank and JNU Vice Chancellor Jagadish Kumar. 18 November 2020. The first news is the Reserve Bank of India has placed cash-strapped Lakshmi Vilas Bank under a moratorium for a period of 1 month and restricted withdrawals at Rs 25,000 for depositors owing to a serious deterioration in the lender's financial position. The central bank also suspended the board of directors of LVB for a period of 30 days owing to a serious deterioration in the financial position of the bank. The move was announced through an order by the Ministry of Finance. The RBI has also drafted a scheme of amalgamation for LVB with DBS Bank India Limited and aims to complete the merger process before the moratorium period ends. Important keys: Lakshmi Vilas Bank headquarters, it is in Chennai, Tamil Nadu. Lakshmi Vilas Bank founded on 1926 and the president is Avtar Singh Monga. Next. The Reserve Bank of India has created a Reserve Bank Innovation Hub. The aim of Innovation Hub is to promote innovation across the financial sectors by leveraging on technology and creating an environment which would facilitate and foster innovation. RBIH will collaborate with financial sector institutions, technology industry and academic institutions and coordinate efforts for exchange of ideas and development of prototypes related to financial innovation. Reserve Bank Innovation Hub RBIH would be managed by a governing council consisting of 10 members. Important keys: Governor of RBI is Shakti Kant Das, Deputy Governor of RBI is BP Kanungo, M.K. Jain, M.D. Patra and Rajeshwar Rao. Headquarter of RBI, it is in Mumbai, Maharashtra. Next. Equator Small Finance Bank has launched a women-centered product, EVA. The bank has roped in Indian women cricketer Smriti Mandhana as the brand ambassador for its newly launched product EVA. EVA is a unique saving account for women to address the well-being of Indian women in every aspect such as health, wealth and prosperity. Important keys: Equator Small Finance Bank Chairman is Arun Ramanathan, Equitas Small Finance Bank MD and CEO is Vasudevan Pathangi Narasimha. Equitas Small Finance Bank headquarters, it is in Chennai, Tamil Nadu. Next. The investment bank Goldman Sachs has revised upwards the growth forecast for India in financial year 21 to minus 10.3% from its earlier projection of minus 14.8% in September 2020. For the financial year 2021 to 22, the Goldman Sachs has projected India's GDP at 13%. Next. The second phase of exercise Malabar 2020 has been organized in the Northern Arabian Sea from 17th to 20th November 2020. The first phase of exercise Malabar 2020 was conducted in the Bay of Bengal from 3rd to 6th November 2020. Exercise Malabar 2020 is the 24th edition of Malabar. The second phase will witness a joint operation centered around the Vikramaditya Carrier Battle Group of the Indian Navy and Nimitz Carrier Strike Group of the US Navy. Next. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has virtually addressed the 12th BRICS Summit. The summit was held under the chairmanship of Russian President Vladimir Putin. India will be taking over the championship of the BRICS in 2021 and host the 13th BRICS Summit in 2021. It would be the third time that India will take over the BRICS presidency since its inception. Previously, India was the chair in 2012 and 2016. The theme of the 12th edition of BRICS Summit was Global Stability, Shared Security and Innovative Growth. Next. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has addressed the third annual Bloomberg New Economy Forum through video conferencing. The forum witnessed discussion on refueling the economy and charting a course for the future as the world economy is grappling with the COVID-19 pandemic. Some other speakers of the forum included Director General of the World Health Organization, that is WHO, Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, former UK Prime Minister Tony Blair, former US President Bill Clinton, Microsoft founder Bill Gates and Secretary General of the United Nations Antonio Guterres. Next. Serbia tennis star Novak Djokovic has given the ATP Tour No. 1 trophy on 15th November 2020 for finishing 2020 as the year-end number 1. With this, he has become the only second player in tennis history after Peter Sampras to receive the trophy 6th time. Earlier, Djokovic has finished as world number 1 in 2011, 12, 14, 15 and 2018. Before this, only Petr Sampras has managed to finish 6 years on top of the rankings, which he did between 1993 and 1998. Next. The National Naturopathy Day is observed in India on 18th November every year to promote positive mental and physical health through a drugless system of medicine called as naturopathy. The 48-day program of webinars will continue till the 3rd National Naturopathy Day, which falls on 18th November 2020. The day was declared by the Ministry of Ayush, that is Ayurveda, Yoga, Naturopathy, Unani, Siddha and Homeopathy, Government of India on November 18, 2018. Next. World Day of Remembrance for Road Traffic Victims is marked every year on 3rd Sunday in the month of November. In 2020, World Day of Remembrance for Road Traffic Victims fall on 15 November 2020. The purpose of the day is to remember those killed and injured on the roads together with their families, friends and other affected. The theme of 2020 World Day of Remembrance for Road Traffic Victims is First Responders. The day was started by the British road crash victim charity Road Peace in 1993 and was adopted by the United Nations General Assembly in 2005. Next. In India, November 17 is observed every year as National Epilepsy Day to create awareness about epilepsy. The month of November is observed as National Epilepsy Awareness Month. This National Epilepsy Day is observed by the Epilepsy Foundation of India. Epilepsy is a varied set of persistent neurological disease and causes sudden seizures and fits. The seizures of epilepsy result due to the unusual and extreme activities in the brain, and the seizures also result from the hypersynchronize neuronal brain activity. Next. Rajasthan Social Justice and Empowerment Minister Bhanwar Lal Meghwal passed away. The five-time MLA represented the Surajgarh Assembly constituency of Churu district of the state. Next. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has virtually unveiled the Statue of Peace dedicated to Jain monk Acharya Shri Vijay Vallabh Surishwarji Maharaj. The 151-inch, that is 12.6 feet tall statue was inaugurated by Prime Minister Modi on the occasion of the 151st birth anniversary of Acharya Shri Vijay Vallabh Shuri at Vijay Vallabh Sabdhana Kendra, Jetpura in Pali, Rajasthan. The Statue of Peace has been made from Ashtadhatu, which means 8 metals, and includes copper as a major constituent. Next. The first solar power enabled textile mill in Asia is set to be set up in Parbhani district, Maharashtra. Spread across 30 acres of land, the Jai Bhavani Women's Cooperative Textile Mill will be the first in Asia that will operate entirely on solar power. The overall cost of setting up the project is around rupees 100 crore.